Cikgu Rashid, boleh tak kita buat analisa movement stock market atau US bond dengan currency pair macam S&P 500 dan Dow Jones vs USD Chef?
Okay. My short answer, yes, jawapannya boleh. Sebab that's why most of the hedge fund manager ataupun analyst ataupun traders out there, they always use global index, bond market, and also commodity market as a gauge ataupun as a benchmark before they enter into any financial instrument. Sebab contoh kalau katakan you are a currency trader, they will actually benchmark other instrument that I mentioned just now. If you are a commodity trader, you will look into the price movement of the currency, price movement of the index to trade it. If you are index trader ataupun you are equity trader, you will benchmark all those what's happening. So it depends. Okay, the trader, the hedge fund managers, they tend to look everything or most of the big asset big asset classes, okay, before they enter, because they need to know what's happening. For example, how the equity is doing, how's the orang kata the risk-free market ataupun bond market, what is the sentiment is happening. So that's why as a currency trader, normally we also ask you guys to look into UJ punya movement, because that tends to give some clue whether it's a USD punya market ataupun it's more towards the risk off punya market where Japanese yen tend to okay. So short answer is yes. Okay, just to give a bit of orang kata clue ataupun hint where we actually can look into it. For example, as this is UJ, boleh nampak ya Bun screen saya?
Okay, dah ada.
Okay, because why I said just now, short answer, yes, you guys can do it. But then my long answer, it's not always one-to-one correlation ataupun even up to 0.9 ataupun even up to 0.8. Sometimes we will get up to that level, but most of the time the market, the correlation will be between 0.6 to 0.75. That already good enough. Okay, so I just give you some examples so at least you guys get the idea why I'm saying so. Macam UJ, it made a one high and then it was making a low and then suddenly push back and then come down, goes up. Okay, so I show you bond market. Okay, tengok bond market, dia tak ada high. Okay, of course dia punya high was sometime back in the month of March, tapi dia punya trend is almost sama macam UJ punya. Okay, it was going down, going up, and then it break recently. Also last week also it broke. Okay, so kalau nampak UJ dengan bond market, which is a treasury, okay, which we tend to always dia ada similar correlation but not exactly. Nampak tak? Dia punya high was created somewhere in the month of July, but bond punya high was created way before, about 2 months prior to that. Okay, but if you look at it in the overall long-term direction, okay, they tend to correlate, but it's not doesn't correlate from candle to candle or hourly to hourly or even sometimes daily to daily or even weekly to weekly. But what as a trader ataupun even outside even the big players, they tend to take ataupun benchmark some of the key asset classes ataupun they know what the market is hinting. For example, if the price is going up, okay, for example, okay, UJ is going down, then they know Japanese yen is actually starting to get stronger because market is on the risk off mode, ataupun there's a potentially some geopolitical issue ataupun some crisis tend to happen, etc. Similarly, kalau you all nampak S&P 500 ataupun you guys want to look at the Russell 2000 also can, but let's say we look at the S&P 500, okay, the reason why the big drop, which is almost is a beginning ataupun is a start of a bigger correction that going to happen in a stock market. This is the first in. Okay, so that's why whatever you guys see in the S&P 500 is going up. Okay, very soon is going to hit the ceiling ataupun going to hit the resistance. Market is going to push very hard on this deeper correction. This one you guys can see in Dow Jones. Also, you guys can see it in what do you call Nasdaq, okay? Because Nasdaq is also very volatile in terms of the movement in a 10-year yield, which is also because of the orang kata very related to the risk on risk off ataupun the interest rate, okay, on the 10-year yield. That will impact Nasdaq more than Dow Jones versus S&P 500. Okay, so Nasdaq is mostly, it's all tech companies, and their future income ataupun future valuation is pretty much revolve around what is the market pricing in terms of the rate ataupun potential return they will get it. So that's why any small movement dekat sini is going to impact Nasdaq, and indirectly Nasdaq, which has Apple, Facebook, all those big tech companies, is also inside this Dow Jones. And some of it, of course, 500 companies of the big companies, so constituents of this ni. Of course, each of these valuations a bit different, ataupun dia punya mechanics a bit different, so dia akan ada impact. So that's why on a broader market, you guys can see S&P 500, but in a smaller scale, what's happening on the tech sectors, etc., Nasdaq will be a key indicator. But the big companies, the Dow Jones 30 companies, you guys can use it. So all this also, and also on top of it, 10-year yield, on top of it, UJ, all this, and also commodity market, especially oil, okay? So siapa yang follow oil, okay? I just give you a indication why market was also a bit jittery last Friday. Sebab tiba-tiba they break, because I think I mentioned to somebody, I was asking about oil. Okay, 80 is the resistance that we are looking at it. So they dah touch ataupun break a bit 80 last Friday. Okay, from 66 ataupun 67 punya zone, drop down and 80. So 80 dah ni. So most likely oil akan ada retracement a bit, okay, before pushing up a bit further. Of course, long term still 100 is the target ataupun 90 at least on the mid term. Okay, so 80 dah breach. So now will be a retracement before pushing higher. So all this we have to take in a orang kata in a holistic view. Okay, sebab dia tak boleh oil tengah naik, so I want to buy gold straight away, ataupun I want to buy ataupun I want to sell UCAT, ataupun I want to buy CAT JPY. Sometimes the correlation happen one-to-one immediately, but most of the time it's always on the long term, okay, but not necessarily one-to-one all the time. Okay, so but as a trader, it's always good if you guys know the intermarket correlation, how each orang kata instrument impact, especially macam UJ, okay, 10-year yield, all the global index, okay, and also what else, commodity market, okay. So I think for trader, all these four sets of these key indicators ataupun key data will help you guys to make a reasonably, okay, informed decision. Okay, it won't be accurate all the time, because sometimes UJ di atas, index can go down. Okay, it also can happen. Okay, ataupun 10-year yield naik, gold pun naik. Okay, but most of the time in the long term, the market will always respect each other dia punya ni. Okay, short term maybe they don't respect, but definitely in a bigger time frame it will respect. Okay, Bun?
Okey, baik. Terima kasih Cikgu Rashid. Satu penerangan yang sangat panjang. So harap menjawab soalan.
Nak explain benda tu, intermarket correlation is not an easy topic. Okay, but we just take it the key points. Macam saya kata, kalau oil naik, UCAT turun. Macam you all nampak tiba-tiba UCAT turun, okay, sebab oil tengah ni. Tapi tiba-tiba bila data production US naik sedikit, oil turun. Tapi bila OPEC tak nak increase production, then as the impact to oil, then oil ada impact pada inflation, ada inflation ada impact pada gold, and gold ada impact pada 10-year yield, then 10-year yield ada impact pada global index. So it's all dia pergi dalam one cycle. So it's not a so easy topic.
Ya, satu soalan yang bagus lah daripada Tuan Joel. Saya rasa saya tak pernah nampak.
Tuan Joel selalunya dia soalan tu memang mencabar minda. Jadi memang mencabar. Siapa yang tak biasa dengan fundamental, siapa yang tak biasa dengan fundamental, susah nak hadam mungkin apa yang saya explain juga. Tapi saya rasa Tuan Joel tu dia dah biasa dengan fundamental ataupun some kind of intermarket correlation. So I hope some explanation he gets a clue. Because sometimes macam saya kata, kadang-kadang saya use UJ as a benchmark, 10-year yield as a benchmark. Oil, I don't trade oil, tapi I follow closely oil. I don't trade global index, but I will also follow closely because I need to know what's happening on these asset classes before I go into gold. So gold ada correlation dengan semua yang what I mentioned.
Yeah.